questions. Economists believe on the G20, economists believe that by 2024, most industrial countries will recover to pre-COVID level, while developing country obviously is not the case. So how is the White House trying to address this disparity, and especially with COVID, climate change? And second, on Iran, you just said that the president will discuss Iran. At what stage will the White House decide that Iran has passed the no point of return? We have enough enriched uranium, they have heavy water, they have the know-how. So when do you decide that we have to enact Plan B, if you wish?
So on the second, I'm not fixing a date on that. Obviously, we closely monitor the progress in Iran's nuclear program. We are alarmed and concerned by the steps that they have taken since they left the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Within the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, there were constraints on that program that were significant and substantial. We had a lid on that program. Now we do not, because we don't have that deal. So our first and highest priority is to get back to the table and get back to a deal that does, in fact, place a lid on Iran's nuclear program. In terms of emerging economies around the world, I would just highlight three things that will be on the agenda over the course of the next 6 days. The first is the capacity to recycle special drawing rights from the International Monetary Fund to help emerging economies be able to deal with the immense fiscal burden that COVID-19 has inflicted on them. And we're looking forward to having a strong and ambitious statement on that. The second is debt relief, forms of debt relief that we want all of the G20 countries to sign on to together, and the United States will be pressing for that in Rome at the leaders' level. And then third and finally, when it comes to climate, on both the adaptation and the transition and mitigation side, President Biden stood up at the UN General Assembly and said, we are going to double our commitment to international climate finance to help less developed countries be able to make this transition effectively. We think that is an effective and very affirmative way for us to contribute to the problem that you're talking about. Yeah.
Just to follow up on Iran, you've been very patient. The talks have ceased. How long is this window going to be open in terms of diplomacy, and what's the second strategy if that doesn't work?
So I'm not going to negotiate from the podium, but I will say that part of the reason the president wants to have the chance to coordinate closely with our European partners, particularly with the E3, who are part of the talks, is for us to have a united front after the 4 years of division on the Iran policy in the last administration. And we will be sending clear messages to the Iranians, as we have been doing over the course of the past few months, that this window is not unlimited, that we do need to see a return to diplomacy and progress at the diplomatic table, and that we, of course, retain all other options to be able to deal with this program as necessary. But beyond that, I'm not going to comment further, because we believe there still is an opportunity to resolve this diplomatically.